Are you a business owner, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, or a professional that have a story to tell, or a product or service that you want to put out there for the world to see? Let's set up an exclusive interview between you and I. All I want you to do is to shoot me an email on info@oakannex.com. Let's project your brand, and you'll be glad you did. With us in the studio today is no other person than Mrs. Joy Offor, who also doubles as CEO, Homesy Cake and Events. Welcome to Oakannex Hangout.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Madam Joy, we would like you to take us through the journey.
Okay.
How it all started and how we got here.
Baking for me has always been something of fun from childhood. It didn't start as a business. It started from doing what I love to do best. I would take the cookbooks, I would try to make recipes, and so that was the beginning for me.
At what point do you know you make out a living out of it, turning it into a business? Can you take us through the journey, how it all started?
I remember being in university and I would make birthday cakes for my friends and then for church. As time continued, I found out I could make some little money from it too. So if somebody was having a birthday party, they would ask me to make cakes. I'm like, okay, I'd rather take a little bit of the money than not make any money at all. So that was the beginning of the business aspect of it.
Were you a cake maker from day one? What was your discipline? Because I learned you are a lawyer. How did just take us through the journey, how it all started,
Yes.
from law to business owner to cake maker.
Yeah, so I would say that though I have the passion, I've always had the dreamt of being a lawyer. I still going to school, of course, to become a lawyer, university. But I had this side hustle, the side business, which was the cake making.
Okay.
I've always done it, like I said, from the university. Even as a practicing lawyer in Nigeria, back home, I would go for some classes after work to learn more. I remember somewhere in Abuja, in Jabi, I would go back to a cake class to learn some more stuff to better my cake skills. So that was it. I would go to work, I would do the law parts in the morning, and then later in the evening, I would further my skill. So, because I believe so much in handwork, I believe so much in entrepreneurship. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. So, were you at the onset, did you envisage yourself at some point making cake for a living?
Not at all. Not at all.
So, how did you navigate into that?
Yes, so coming over to the United States,
Okay.
I found out that there was this small market for, Nigerian cakes. People were complaining that, they didn't want the sugar-based cake, and I'm like, okay, I can actually whip up some cakes. I started baking. It was already something I knew how to do before. And so I started baking. I would give to family, friends. I wasn't selling, basically, But after a while, what's in, it's already there, it's already there. I took up my tools again. I had that habit of buying cake stuff and tools wherever I went to, even if I wasn't baking for business. I would just buy up stuff. I would, order stuff and bake, at least for family and friends. But at a point when I saw that it was a business I could make money from here too, just mainly on baking. Not that I don't do other stuff, but cake has taken most of my time.
Okay. What ran through your mind the day you made your first cake? Your emotions, can you elaborate more on that?
Okay, so being a young adult at that time, because I started baking, like I said, very early in my life. The thing about cake is having to mix different ingredients and it will come out yummy. So it was first my passion and love for cake that made me learn it. So I love the fact that it's my happy place. You can give me bed rest, but baking will make me happy. I would still find a way of sitting down to bake somehow.
Okay. What were the challenges you encountered?
As a small business,
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy. It's not really. There are a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to manpower. And back home, if you have a business, you can employ as many, hands as you want because the wages is, cheaper. But here, whatever profit, you don't want to, tax your customers so high, such that that they can't afford the cakes. The most important thing is to make your cake affordable for people to eat. While trying to eat healthy, they don't spend too much money. And you can't do that. If you have so much order, you don't want to get more hands because you can't pay as many hands as you wish. It's something that I wish that we can actually import people to help and, for lesser money. And then that's one of the challenges. Another of the challenge that we have is the part where we have a big market in Nigeria. Our customers are constantly in touch with home.
Okay.
They see the cakes out there and they're throwing the challenge to you, and you don't have as much help, like I already said, like they do have there. But in everything, we still, we're in the market, and we're trying to make sure we take one day at a time, to put our best in.
Okay. So what's the market share like in America?
Competitive, I must say. Competitive, and like I already mentioned, doing it alone sometimes, and with sometimes little help if you want to hire one or two people. But the clientele, it's also, since Nigerian cakes, it's based on our own people, Africans mainly. And then I also try to put the children into consideration, because they're in between trying to learn how to eat the American cakes, and they also love a little bit of Africa. Sometimes we try to balance it so that they don't miss what they are supposed to get from eating American cakes, and we don't make it too Nigerianized that they cannot eat it. So we found a recipe that also works for them.
Okay. So can you take us on the resilience part of this whole journey? Because from the day you made your first cake up to this point, it hasn't been rosy.
At all.
Take us in that direction, please.
I mean, for like every other business, we face our challenges, and it's the resilience to actually fight and keep pushing. That days you wake up, I want to throw the towel, and like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then it's passion that actually pushes. You're like, okay, one more cake. That's how big this one, and this will be the last. You're here battling with gas over this, that. Sometimes you're like, okay, I don't want to do this. But you wake up and the client sends you a message, that cake was the most beautiful. Oh, I love the taste. I'm like, I've been eating your cake for years. And then you're like, okay, enough. This is enough to do this, So we're doing it to make our customers happy, while, like I also said, it's a passion thing for me. But if it's making so much money and it's not really the thing for me, it is these other two things have pushed it further for me. Thank you.
Okay, another thing that really struck me is that you double as a mom and as a business owner. How do you juggle the two? And as a wife too. So
I would confess, especially this year has been the hardest, because back in February I had my third child, and it was more challenging, going from 2 to 3, yes, and so I had cakes, and braved it up. By 2 months postpartum, I was already baking, because it's a passion thing, like I already said. Having to do that when you know that your health sometimes is at risk, but your customer is saying, if you don't do this cake for me, nobody else will do it. So it's not easy. I had to, and then I have my family helping me out. If not, I'm not sure I'll be here doing the cakes. I mean, yeah.
Okay, if you were to start up again, how would you have done it, knowing what you know now?
That's a very, 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 very hard question, because I don't know if I would change anything. Because like with every other business, when you grow to where you're going to, we'll say, the story is what makes it what it is today.
Okay.
So I'm not sure I would change anything. I would still do it the way it is.
I mean, like doing something differently, still in the cake, maybe based on the steps, trying something different. Yeah.
The only thing I would do differently is to look for more hands,
Okay.
more hands that will help. Yes.
Okay. If we are to advise some other person or someone somewhere that wants to come into cake making business,
Okay. And
advice.
yeah, I wanted to also add that apart from the cake side, it's also opened the door to the event side, the event planning, decorations, and the other part of it.
The accessories.
Yes, the accessories, I would call that, because most times somebody comes for cake, then they want decoration and the planning of the event. You find yourself, because you're trying to get the cake colors, getting the event color itself. And so we diversified into doing the event itself and then decoration, all of that put together. So, yeah, back to your question. My advice would still be, let it be a passion thing, and then make sure that you're serving to make sure that your clients and your customers have full satisfaction. Yes.
Okay, based on the feedbacks on the positive feedbacks that you get, does it make you feel emotionally when people get across, they enjoy your cake?
Yeah, we've had the good and the bad sides, right? I will not deny that. But for the good reviews, I mean, keep them coming. It pushes us. Yes, I'm always, happy to hear that they had a good time. We've really not had a bad customer that, kind of said, oh, we didn't like totally. Mistakes happen, and I have very understanding clients and customers. That's why I've had people staying with us for years. Yes, because no matter what happens in any business, how you also handle it, you can't be bitchy about it. If the customer is always right, whenever there's an issue, you handle it well, and they keep coming back.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you made a bad cake?
Will I say have I made a bad cake? We've made cakes that be cakes that everything is fine. There's one thing in cake business, there's transportation is involved. You can make a very nice cake before it gets to the venue. Something has gone wrong on the road. That's one thing with the cake thing. It's very delicate. And so it's whether from the baking part, from we do the right things that we should do. But sometimes events happen that is beyond our own control, and some customers understand. There's not been a deliberate action to make sure that we don't put smile on the face of the customer. From the bakery, from this side, we're always doing what we think we should do. And if there are any changes, we tell the customers. If there are things that we can do, we tell them. And so if anything happens between we finish the cake is nice, and then it's going over to deliver, a lot happens, I can tell you, a lot.
Despite all the challenges, what keeps you going? What motivates you?
What motivates me is still making people happy. The process of making cakes, people would come to us, and then would kind of get the the colors, theme. I mean, they come sometimes clueless. They don't know what theme of cake, especially for children events, and there are a lot of cartoon characters, and you help them figure it out. And before you know it's happening, we're able to get everything put together. The backdrops for the events. You find yourself neck deep in the event planning. And like, okay, I mean, we have actually found another business in this one business, So from the passion for cake making, we went into event planning. So
how has it been combining the two?
Very interesting. Interesting and challenging at the same time, because no two events are the same. No two events. Everybody wants their own event to be unique. And largely our customers are Africans. We have that African market, which it's mostly, people are dealing with. I mean, very, very glad to serve our community, to serve our people in the little way that we can. Yes, so we branched into this aspect, this part of it, and yes, it's been very, very, very beautiful to do. Yes.
Okay, what is it like establishing Homesy Cakes and events?
Mm.
Coming in as an immigrant, how easy was it?
It's one thing to, map out a business plan and say, okay, I'm coming to America, and when I get to the US, I'm going to just start baking cakes. In fact, doing none of that was in the plan. None of that was, what we saw. It came from the place of serving. It came from the place of, making sure that whoever, you love has a taste of what you like to do. And so making cakes was one of the way I knew how to show people that I loved them. My friends, if they're doing birthdays, that was the only way I could communicate that, okay, I have this cake for you to eat. And I saw the joy. So, yes, it wasn't like it was a plan. There was no draft. There was no, to start a business. But like every other thing in life, when you see that part that is leading and, coming out so bright, you explore. So we explored, tried to make a business entity out of that aspect of it. So putting the two together, both the cake and the events, we have this, big thing going on.
Okay.
Yes, so, yes.
How has cake making evolved over the years? From the time you started up to this point, how has the transition been?
A lot. It's been huge. For everyone, apart from bakers themselves, I'm sure the preference of cake 10 years ago is not the same. Before, it used to be smaller cakes. It used to be just, the step cake that you use in the wedding, small cakes, and everybody's fine. Now, cakes have gone from just having a little one-tier cake. We have like 4 tiers in one cake. Cakes are high. And as it evolves, you have to keep learning. You have to keep, we spend so much trying to better ourselves, both physically, online, there's no end to learning when it comes to cake making.
Good. For someone that is still trying to make up his or her mind, because cake making is not only for ladies, right? Okay. For someone that still wants to maybe trying to muster the courage, to come into the business, what advice do you have for such person?
Like you rightly said, it's not just for women. We have big names. Cakes by Tosan in Nigeria. It's a guy. There are a lot of big brands that are guys, and they're doing this with so much passion. Even cooks. We have a lot of men shining in the industry. So, I mean, anybody that the market is very big.
So it's not a ladies thing, right?
No, it's not a ladies thing. It's a passion thing first.
Okay.
You must love to be in the kitchen. You must love to be somewhere doing something. It's very messy out there. Flour is not the best of friends when it comes. It can turn you all white if you want to, if you're not careful. So, yes, it can be a little messy. It's not a white-collar job. It is a business. And so, if you want to do it, the best thing is to have that passion first. To know that, okay, I'm passionate about serving. I'm passionate about, baking. And from there, you can start. And it must not be perfect from the very first day. Okay. You start today, you give yourself some time. Growth is allowed, And when growth happens, it's just that, like I said, in the business, it keeps evolving. Maybe in the next 10 years, maybe we'll be baking in the sky. We don't know. With AI, things are happening, robots everywhere,
Okay, yeah. So another thing that really, really got me, like, you make the cake for someone from the audience or anybody that will want maybe to learn from you, because you've been able to establish yourself, as an authority in this business, starting from the scratch, from your story and how you've evolved, how you got here, even expanded into events. So for some people that want to learn, do you do trainings?
Not really. We're still considering that. But one of the things we're trying to do, because we have had people who have relocated, customers who are, in fact, on Thanksgiving I had to teach one of my clients in Houston a recipe, because she's like, "You're gonna give me a cake to eat today. You have to teach me how to bake something." So I mean, exploring the online teaching is one of the things that I'm really considering, because you can be anywhere and learn how to bake. You don't have to come physically, because a lot of people are scattered everywhere, and these are people that love to eat cakes too. So why I don't want it to be something that is restricted by where you are. And then maybe a cookbook, a bake book in the future, something that can reach out.
You didn't get me. Someone that needs Humzi recipe, somebody that wants to pass through your tutelage, somebody that wants you to train him or her, that wants to get across to you. How can that happen?
Like I said, in tutoring, we are still not, we don't have a physical one-on-one for now, apart from the online thing. And if you want to get to me, I have my Instagram page, which you can communicate with me on, the cakes _ n _ cakes by Humsi on Instagram. You can always come to me, contact me, and then we can work out, whatever fits and suits them.
What of your phone number? How can they reach you on your phone number?
Okay, my phone number is 973-393-6255.
Okay, Humzi events, cakes and events. As you know already, this platform, is to build, to encourage, to motivate, to support. Right. So, what word do you have for our audience in Oakannex Hangout?
Yes, one thing I've learned about this platform is the ability to, look and say this is an opportunity to impact lives, and it's very rare because people are in a lot of things for the wrong reasons. And that reason, which is to impact lives, is one very good one. I'm encouraged, and for that reason, I'm saying keep watching, keep staying tuned. Whatever videos, it's very educative. I mean, you made me bring out all that there is. There's nothing to hide here. What you see is what you get. Keep watching.
Thank you so much for that
Yes.
word. On this note, we'll come to the end of this hangout, and we're pleased to have you.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you some other time.
Very, very much my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Are you a business owner, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, or a professional that have a story to tell, or a product or service that you want to put out there for the world to see? Let's set up an exclusive interview between you and I. All I want you to do is to shoot me an email on info@oakannex.com. Let's project your brand, and you'll be glad you did. Thank you.